Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Friday Gear Show. Now, you may have come here because of the title. Adam Ondra is not in this video, but this man is. This is Jonathan. Jonathan works closely with Adam Ondra, and you guys give him the kit that he uses. So you're probably in the best position to know the kind of stuff that he has in his bag every single day. We have lots of stuff in front of us, and all of this Adam Ondra uses, right?
Exactly. So I'm the go-to-market manager for Black Diamond in Europe. So we're sitting here in our showroom, and Adam has been with us with BD since 2010 with hard goods, and super stoked to have Adam on the team. Obviously, I mean the arguably the best climber in history of climbing, and we work pretty closely with Adam on several technologies, especially on the harness side. It's been really helpful. And all his kit is really speaks kind of simplicity, you would say. Our sports marketing manager is the closest in touch with him, but we always exchange, sending prototypes to try and get his feedback, because if the best climber in the world likes it, then it's probably good.
And how does that work? Because we'll get into the gear in a sec, but so you give him an almost finished product, he uses it, and then he gives you feedback, and then you tweak it because of that? How does it work?
Yeah, usually, so when it comes to PPE products, of course, all the product must be tested and so on when it comes to harnesses. So we have, at BD, everything is designed and developed in Salt Lake City in our headquarters. And then usually we're a brand, every designer, engineer are climbers. So we, of course, test and climbing the products before, and then at a certain point we're more or less happy with the product and think that, well, maybe in a year or something it could come out, and then usually we send it out to have a deeper field test, or it could also be a request from the athletes. But that's basically when either me here in Europe or sports marketing manager Christian gets in contact with Adam. We invite him here, explain about the product, or send him, or Christian goes and meet him. He was up with him in Flatanger, for example, when he was sending his 9C silence. And then we let him use the product for a certain amount of time, and then he comes back, either calls us or he visits the Salt Lake City office and basically gives his rundown on the product.
Awesome. Okay, so everything here is being touched by him. It's had his seal of approval. So let's get into the gear. Where do we start? Maybe
we'll start with maybe the most visible on his climbs, and what we have also during the World Championships here is basically the quick draws he's using, and this is really the highlight in our line, the Livewire quick draw, which has a nitron quick draw. They're both hot forged. With really nice little ergonomic stripes for easy clipping. There's no nose on the upper one for easy removal of the quick draws. The live wire down here with also a key lock feature for easy clipping.
What is that little metal section?
So this piece is actually made so that you don't get the rope or your finger stuck when you clip or unclip the rope. So it's just for the ease of clipping, and same with this ergonomic forged shapes
bit of grip
in the
when you
beaters.
grab it.
Exactly. And you can see during the World Championship, Adam is probably one of the best at actually clipping. We've saw during the finals here. Some guys struggled, and it does take a lot of energy. So you need to have a beater that is easily clippable.
It's not easy. Like, it's one of those things, especially when you start out in climbing. Clipping is actually part of the route almost, because it's like, it's hard. You have to lock off, you have to take your hand off, you have to then clip, make it look smooth. It's not easy. So I suppose the little things make a big difference within that.
Oh yeah, for sure, it does. And then we also have here the nitron, and this is the one used here in the World Cup, and this is the nitron with the bend gate, so for a bit more ergonomic clipping as well, and you can feel it. You just don't slide off as easily as the.
Why do you use this one for the World Championships and this one for outdoor climbing? Like, what was the decision to not put this one on instead of this one?
It was just the ergonomic grip and the solid gate wanted for the World Championships.
Okay, cool. And it's bright purple, so you can see it, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about chalk? I've got one of those chalk bags, but I've got it in blue.
The best chalk bag ever.
I mean, I cannot say that, but it's pretty good. And also, I haven't destroyed it. and I usually destroy most chalk bags. So, but I mean, it's a nice chalk bag whenever I use it. It feels like nice and wide, soft. It kind of just does everything a chalk bag should do.
Exactly. I mean, there's not much to say. It's a cool chalk bag. It speaks simplicity. You just have a little brush holder. You have an easy cord closure, a nice waistband, and just a big sizable pocket to dip your hands in the chalk. I mean, you don't want to struggle by closing and opening.
I think if you're thinking about your chalk bag, there's a problem.
Then
you know what I mean?
you have
It's
the
just
wrong
got to be
chalk
like,
bag.
But what is interesting is what goes inside the chalk bag.
Oh yeah.
So you've got 2 chalks here, and I've got no idea why they're different.
So this is pretty cool, actually. So this is just a new packaging of our current white gold that's out in the stores now, and we've had it for years, and it's a proven one. Chalk is basically very close to 100% magnesium carbonate. That's what it is, in a crystalline shape. That means that the molecules are arranged, so there's a certain pattern, and that also gives the material its property, so how much water it absorbs or not. So this is just a new packaging of it. The texture is really proven. Adam uses the white gold, and climbers are really, and me included, really picky regarding chalk. Like you don't want it grinded too fine or too chunky. You just want the right texture. But what we've actually done with the black gold here, so this is also very close to 100% magnesium carbonate, but the big difference is that inside here we have something that we call the pure gold, which is actually named also upsalite, which is magnesium carbonate, but in an amorph shape. So it's basically just how you manufacturing process of magnesium carbonate, and that gives the material its property, and in its pure shape it absorbs 10 times more water than normal chalk. So this one is a mix, meaning this one absorbs 2 times more humidity than normal chalk. And if you we'll sell the pure gold, so that's the pure upsalite, that absorbs 10 times more, and that's just black on white.
That stuff is I've used, because at outdoor you're giving away samples.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I had a sample. It comes in what looks like, and let's be honest, a condom wrapper.
Yeah.
And then it does. And then I've added it to chalk I've had, and it does make a difference. Like I wasn't convinced, because when you talk about it, you're like, nah, is it really going to do that? But the second I put it in, it changed the I don't know how to describe it. It's hard, but it just made it feel drier.
Yeah, no, it really does. And then you can, why we sell it just in pure shape, is just you can mix, you can try it out. And we're still figuring out the best way. We're selling it in the black gold, in a pre-mixed. So that's the ratio that we found works the best for us internally, and what the athletes actually liked, and everybody who's tested it. But you could also just buy it in the pure form. You can make a ground layer first and then put your hand in just white chalk, or mix more or less in. But it's really cool because it actually performs better. Most other chalk out on the market, or other chalk is just magnesium carbonate. There's no change. There's changes in the texture, so you can grind it. Actually, you can make it finer, more powdery, or more chunky, but you can't change the properties of the magnesium carbonate. But this can. Okay. So.
Cool. Well, I guess when you're Adam Ondra and you're climbing 9C, there's little fractions do make a difference. So if you've got something that dries you out a little better, then you use that, don't you? You've got a belay device in front of you that I've never used one of them. Tell me about it. Tell me about it as if I'd never used it. Is it assisted braking? Like, what does it do?
So yeah, we call this device, there's many names, and there's no definite name, but I think most companies and people now have come to one name: assisted braking device for this type of device. So it's not, you don't have any moving parts like on semi-automatic devices. So it actually works similar to any other assisted braking devices out on the market. So the rope, when you have a beaner clipped in here and the leader falls, the rope will get squeezed between this steel part and the beaner and break the fall. Meaning you always need to have your braking hand on the rope as a belayer, always, just like as you belay with a normal ATC. But it will block it. You'll have assisted blocking, basically.
So if something goes wrong, let's say a rock falls on your head and your belayer gets knocked out, you're a bit safer as a climber if that happens.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's we took basically we got inspired by what's out there and wanted to make our version, and we think we came to a result that is more ergonomic, more user-friendly, and we worked a lot on the feeding. So this nose here and the rounded parts really make the feeding and also the lowering of the climber really easy. And you hand this to a beginner and they literally start belaying directly in the correct way. Whereas with different devices, it's sometimes hard to see where you put in the rope, how do you want to hold it, and this one is really our ergonomic grip. And if you put it in your hand, and then if a person has ever belayed with an ATC, it's just the same principle.
It feels, this is the first time I've held it, and when you look at it, it looks like it's going to be flimsy, but it's got that heft of metal in the front, gives it a nice grip, like it feels solid to me anyway. But I haven't used it, but yeah, it looks cool. Yeah,
and the steel, so it's an injected steel molded part, and this is actually the only load-bearing part of it. The plastic is close to indestructible. I mean, you could jump on it, it won't break. But it's just this steel part that actually puts does the job for you. So easier feeding, easier lowering, and just a very ergonomic and easy to use. That's the HC Pilot.
Cool. Okay, so that's kind of nailed that stuff. And then harness.
Oh yeah. So this is the harness that you see Ondra wearing in all his videos. And
what's it called, this one?
So this is the Zone harness, and it's really our high-end sport climbing harness that we have in the line. It's basically the most minimalistic and lightest harness that we have for pure sport climbing. It weighs about 300 grams. And this one has our fusion technology, and that's how we basically construct the waistband and the leg loops. Okay. So you can see here the actual load-bearing webbing here gets split in the leg loops in 3 different stripes, and to really have a uniform load of pressure both on the waist and on the leg loops.
So it can be thin, but it still spreads that out. So it's not like one part of your leg will suddenly be constricted and trapped. It spreads the force.
Exactly. It's the full width. You'll feel load on the full width of the waistband and the leg loops.
And no straps to adjust the legs, but obviously adjustment on the waist.
Exactly. And that's why we have high-end athletes usually wear smaller harnesses. So this comes in several different sizes, but the fixed leg loop is a requirement for most when it comes to high-end harnesses. Sure. And it also has some ice clippers actually, so you could use it as a 4-season harness, like ultralight, and I think that's why a lot of high-end athletes and also consumer like it. It's super packable, it gets small, and with the ice clippers you could put it up and use it in the alpine as well, but it's really a sport climbing harness.
One thing I've noticed is that, so I've used a few really fast and light harnesses, and the gear loops always let me down because they can be a bit floppy in places, or like they're different, but these are actually decent gear.
Yeah,
so I could rack a trad rack on there and you'd be all right.
Yeah, these are pressure molded gear loops, and we always, and that comes across all categories, all products that we make. We do not want to compromise on usability and when it comes to weight savings. So every time we make a product, it needs to be made for what it's used for, and not compromising on that.
Cool. Well, on the ground here is my Achilles heel of products, because like, I'm the biggest backpack nerd you've ever seen in your life. Like my cupboard is, I just need to stop buying backpacks. So what I need you to do is not convince me that I need one of these in my life. So I'm going to move this, please, because I can't do it anymore. We start with this one. Because I don't really know what this is. It looks a bit like a sort of a rope bag in a different form, if I chuck you that. Again, this is what Adam uses, right?
Exactly. So this is his in his regular training kit every time going to the gym back and forth for one of the 1,000 training sessions. This is our gym solution bag. It's an easy shoulder strap type backpack with the speed opening and closure system. You also have a separate compartment inside just to store wallet or keys and anything. And really what it is a simple way of just integrating a backpack with basically, as I say, a rope bag. So you can just throw down your gym rope, 50-meter rope, you have your harness, you have your your shoes and your chalk, and everything fits in it, and just throw it in the car or have it in the office or at university like Adam, and just to bring it to the training.
Yeah, because like my current setup, so I've got a little backpack that I put my shoes and stuff in, and I've got a separate rope bag for my rope, and then if I'm in the office, I've got to have another backpack for my laptop and, you know, actual nice clothes. I'm going to get disgusting. So with something like that, I can have my work backpack, which I leave somewhere, and I can have everything in one place.
Exactly.
Whack it on the floor, you're done.
Yeah, and you can have in the separate compartment, you can store your shoes if you want to put some fresh clothes or whatever on top of the rope so they don't smell bad or whatever it is.
I mean, I did ask you not to try to convince me, but
you might need another backpack.
Please don't. I literally don't have the room. And then this big backpack here. Again, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, this is for the people who have this little guy. I think it's their favorite backpack. I know several of our employees in-house and also a lot of athletes, and you see Adam having this backpack basically everywhere he goes when he goes cragging. So outside, not taking to the gym maybe every time, but when he goes out to a sport crag. So this is the Pipe Dream 45. So this is basically, think about a big backpack fused with a little crash pad. And that's what came out of it, the Pipe Dream. That's the inspiration from it.
So it unfolds into a pad.
Exactly.
We can put it on the floor in a minute.
Yeah, sure. So basically what it does, it's a huge compartment. You can fit everything you wanted. You have your drawers, you have your shoes, you have your rope, you have your water, you have your sandwich, and in the lid here, which is removable, you can have all your other stuff like keys and wallet or a sports bar or whatever you have. And then you just unfold it when you come to the crag and everything is already sorted. You have a place where your stuff don't get dirty. When you rack up and after your climb, you could just roll it out and you can sit and chill on it. You can stretch or just take a nap in between goals. And that's really where Adam uses it. And you could see it in his video, the 9C Silence, he's down on the pack with his physio and stretching and going around.
With the knee movement.
Exactly. So instead of lying on the floor if it's cold or wet, or you just lie down on the pack and can chill or take a nap. So it's a really specific for, I'd say, sport climbing nerds who spend a lot of time in the crag and wants to chill and want to have a good time. And I know also dogs really like to sleep on this guy.
I'm glad you said it's like a sport climbing specific nerdy thing, because it is a little bit, isn't it? Like,
for sure.
It's not. This isn't going to suit everyone, but if that's what you want,
you have it.
You've got this. And I think it's like a yoga mat in a backpack.
Yeah. I think everybody dreamed of having, it's so cool going bouldering because you can always lay down on your pad and chill, and with this backpack, you have both your pack
and it works as a rope mat as well, because you just put the rope on it and then it's off the dirt. Clever, cool. Okay, well that has been a sort of an interesting look at what Adam has, because, like, you know, he's sponsored by you guys. He uses his kit from you, but I like the fact that he has an input into how it works and how it's designed, and also I guess. Yeah, he's sponsored by you, but he's not going to use this stuff unless he wants to. And it's quite cool to know the specific bits of gear he has.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't remember how many products we have in the line, but we do have a lot. And he uses by far not all of them and cherry picks, and that's how everybody does it. But it's great to have people like Adam on the team. And BD comes from there. We're all climbers, founded as a climbing company. Everybody who works at BD are climbers, and most of our customers are also climbers. And just to get feedback from the community and evolve the sports, evolve the gear, and just make things that we need. That is why we are.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for showing me. I've put a link in the description to sort of Black Diamond page on the EpicTV website if people want to buy it, on the EpicTV shop. I mean, thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Can we go climbing now?
Sure, let's go.
Sweet.